Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Rad Wash production. Today we've got a 1990 Nissan 300ZX that we're gonna work on. It's got to get washed. The interior has to get nice and cleaned up because it is going to be hopefully sold tomorrow. We've got a buyer coming to look at it. So, well, the client has a buyer coming to look at it. Anyway, so I got to get going on this. Got a lot of work to do ahead of me, but please stay tuned and I will check back with you in just a bit. Hey, and if you haven't done so already, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, tell your friends, bring the masses. Let's get started. Here's a little sneak peek of the Rad van. I'm showing you that I'm choosing my Super Plush microfiber wash mitt. I actually keep a couple of these on hand. I love them because they trap the dirt nice. They hold a lot of water for extra lubrication. And overall, it just really makes me feel better when I'm washing a vehicle and keeping the paint safe. The paint on this vehicle is in great condition. I'm going to go through here and do the pre-rinse process and just really pay special attention to everything and make sure I'm getting all the dirt and debris, or as much of it as I can, out of the paint. During the pre-rinse, I'm also going to spend a little bit extra time in the wheel wells, just making sure that I knock off any of that loose road grime. Immediately following the initial pre-rinse, I'll go ahead and follow that up with some quick foam action. I'm gonna get beat up a little bit, but I do use the Chemical Guys citrus solution. I think it's great. All my clients are super pleased whenever they get their vehicles back. I think it traps the dirt really well. It creates really good foam. And at the end of the day, the paint is nice and protected. I can go ahead and seal it and wax it if I need to, or throw on a quick spray wax. So you're probably wondering at this point, like, what is he doing? Justin, stop. You didn't wash it yet. But yes, okay, so this vehicle is a little bit different. I went ahead and threw the first round of foam on, and then I'm just rinsing that off. I want to, like I said, just get all the loose dirt and debris off the vehicle before I even touch it with the wash mitt. Even though on this particular job that may have led to a little bit decreased efficiency, it increased the quality of the work performed. After that second rinse cycle, I'll go ahead and lay down another nice thick layer of foam, and then I will start on the wheels and clean all four of those. So I'm back here with the Chemical Guys solution again. I use their sticky citrus wheel cleaner. I like it. I have tried their Diablo wheel cleaner. It's okay. I like the sticky citrus one better. It works good on the tires whenever you're trying to remove any of that old dressing that's on the tires, and then of course on the rims it works really well too. So I'll go through and do my normal process where I'm cleaning the tires, and then I use the soft brush on the wheel face and go ahead and use the woolly in some of those areas to get down into the barrel of the rim. Then I'll switch to the detail brush to get into the lug nut areas, and then any of the other tight areas like around the calipers to get those rims nice and shined up. When I'm all finished up with the wheels, I'll go ahead and hit those tailpipes, get those nice and shined up. And in this case, I was actually able to get my hand kind of way in there and get the muffler as well. I don't know if you can tell, but I am using just a throwaway terry cloth to clean up the tailpipes. I don't really want to save those rags. They're going to be dirty and just grimy from any of the soot that's coming out of the tailpipe. So I'll go ahead and wipe those down, get them nice and clean with the terry cloth, and then I'll go back through with a microfiber towel and just do a final pass. Then after the wheels and the tailpipes are all finished up, I'll go ahead and go around the vehicle with the detail brush to get any of the areas that I won't be able to get with the wash mitt effectively. You can see though, when I'm going around on this particular vehicle with the detail brush, I'm just going in one direction the entire time. I don't want to do a bunch of back and forth because I do not want to scratch the paint or leave love marks. Because I let the foam sit on the vehicle and work for a bit, I decided to rinse the vehicle again before I go ahead and hit it with the wash mitt. After about an hour of pre-wash mitt preparation, I'm finally able to use the wash mitt to wash the vehicle. You'll notice that as I set the wash mitt onto the vehicle, it's really just with very light pressure, and I'm just pulling it in one direction so that I don't leave any love marks. I'll follow that process around the rest of the vehicle. You'll notice though that I start at the top and I work my way down. The lower parts of the vehicle and then the bumpers are usually the dirtiest parts of the vehicle. So I don't want to use a saturated wash mitt with that dirt and grime on the top parts of the vehicle. As a car geek, one of the best parts of detailing is having the opportunity to drive some of these really cool cars. I've talked about it in a few of my previous videos, but this big plush microfiber towel is one of my favorite tools that I have in my toolbox to dry the vehicles. It picks up all the water, and I only have to use the one towel for an entire vehicle. So I'm going to beat this point up a little bit, but moving in one direction is essential whenever you want to try and save the paint and not leave any love marks or swirls in the paint. If you were going to leave a scratch in a straight line, it's much easier to correct that than it is to correct swirls. Since the client's going to be showing this vehicle the very next day, I'm going to surprise him with a Carnauba wax finish when I'm all done with the vehicle. So I'm going to go and do an extra step with the drying process. I'm going to use the air dryer to just blow out any of the crevices to make sure that there's zero water when I go back through and protect the paint later. I'll wrap up the drying process by opening up all the doors, the hood, the trunk, and drying out all those jam areas. The client did ask me to do a quick once over inside the engine bay, so I'm going to go ahead and use a waterless wash spray to accomplish that. Typically this type of cleaning would be much more in depth. I would pull out the steamer, I would use an all-purpose spray to really clean up any of the gunk. This particular client keeps his engine and the really entire vehicle nice and clean, so this is all just a once over. If you do want to see a longer process, I do have another video which I can throw a link to in the description, and you can head over and check it out. When the engine bay area is nice and cleaned up, I'll go ahead and move inside the vehicle where I will clean up any of the large garbage that the vacuum cannot pick up, and then I will go ahead and throw the client's personal things into the rad bag. This client had a bunch of those dryer sheets kind of strategically placed all over the vehicle, so I assumed that there was an issue with maybe a smell or something like that, so I went ahead and paid extra special attention while I was going through and vacuuming and doing some of the steam cleaning to make sure that I was lifting out any of those potential smells. Before I move inside the vehicle to start doing the interior cleaning, I'll go ahead and use the extractor on the floor mats. That way they have a couple of hours to dry before putting them back into the vehicle. Like I've said a couple of times in this video, the client will be showing this vehicle in the morning to a potential buyer. So I want to spend some extra time and pay extra close attention to some of these areas that don't usually get cleaned. So like underneath the trunk mat where the spare tire is located, I'm just going to use some all-purpose cleaner to really scrub in there and get it all nice and clean. Then I'm going to move into the cabin area of the vehicle and start vacuuming. The waterless wash spray is something that I use in all the jams as well. So the hood jam, the trunk jam, the door jams, all of those areas are easy to clean up with that waterless wash spray, and it gives a little bit of extra protection. I used it in the trunk area. I'm using it here in the passenger door jam, and I'll use it again later on in the video, so stick around and see it. But one of my favorite tools is the plastic scraper. This thing really protects the paint from getting scratched or any plastic areas on the vehicle from getting scratched. So I love it for that reason. And also it's just really effective at getting things that you cannot get with a microfiber towel or other means. So here I'm using it. I wish I would have done a close-up shot of this particular area, but there was a stain on the door jamb. I don't know what it was. It was just kind of built up dirt and grime. And so really what I'm doing is starting at the top of that stain or that buildup, and then just kind of scraping off layer by layer until I get down to the paint, where I'm going to be extra careful to not scratch or scrape too hard. I think behind the passenger seat here may have been the source of some of that smell that the client was trying to interrupt, I guess, with the dryer sheets. There was some staining going on in the carpet, so what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going through with a softer bristle brush, just manually kind of scraping some of that stuff out of the carpet. I'll go ahead and vacuum that, and then I'm going to use the steamer to finish out the job. As I was using the steamer, I could smell something coming out of the carpet, so it was a good thing that I decided to go ahead and do that. But after the steamer, I'll go ahead and again use the wet dry vac just to get up any of that loose moisture that was coming out of the carpet. And as you can see, it really did a great job of getting all of that staining out. Down where the pedals are located, I'll go ahead and throw down a clean microfiber towel just to catch any of the dirty liquid that's going to roll off these pedals. So I'll go ahead and spray a diluted version of my all-purpose cleaner onto the pedals and then also the footrest area there, and I'll go ahead and scrub the pedals. And again, I will use the plastic scraper to get any of the loose pebbles out of that gas pedal. As I'm going through the dash area and the door panels with the vacuum, I like to use the detail brush to kind of help sweep some of that dust and other really fine debris into the vacuum as I'm going through. It really helps, and it's an extra added touch. So if you don't do that already, I highly recommend picking up a set of these brushes to accomplish like that level of cleanliness. It's no secret, you can see it on the floor. I am using a Chemical Guys interior cleaner and protectant as I go through the vehicle with the detail brush and wiping it down with a clean microfiber towel. I'm not married to one particular brand. I have tried several. There are several that work. There's several that I don't like as much. This particular product through Chemical Guys it works. It does its job. I like the protection that it leaves. I think a vehicle can last maybe 3 to 4 weeks with the protection. But like I said, I'm not getting paid to place these products in the video. I'm just telling you what I like and what I think works in my own experience. And if you were wondering, the finish that it does leave behind is a matte finish versus a high gloss that you will get or see with some of the other protectants that you can leave on the dash or plastic areas of the vehicle. Okay, so some of you might call this extra. I call it going the extra mile. It's my own craziness. I really like to be thorough whenever I'm cleaning a vehicle, and this is just one of those areas that people don't really pay attention to, but you're constantly touching it. The oils from your fingers really start to build up around knobs like this, and so this is another great spot where this plastic scraper comes and really, it's really handy. You could use a toothpick or something else to kind of accomplish the same thing, but because I have the tool, I use it. And then also, like I said, because it's a softer plastic, these blades, I really don't find myself scratching or being worried about scratching any areas of the vehicle. Like I said earlier, I'm not married to one particular line of products. I use what I think works best for me and what my clients tend to respond to in terms of their satisfaction. So when it comes to cleaning leather, I usually use one of two different strategies. I will either use a full-on leather cleaner followed up with a leather conditioner. In this case, because this client keeps his car incredibly clean, I felt it was only necessary to go ahead and just use a detailer / conditioner, kind of an all-in-one product that works out really well. It cleans the leather, any of the light dirt and kind of gunk, and then it also conditions it kind of at the same time. So it makes the process just a little bit quicker, but it is still very effective. After the entire interior is nice and cleaned up, I'll go ahead and move on to everyone's favorite part, and that is the glass. I always joke when it comes to cleaning the glass, but it really is my least favorite part, and that just has to do with my own need to be a perfectionist. No one has sold me on the perfect product or the perfect method, but what works for me, or what seems to work for me at this moment, is kind of a two-step method where I will go through with a diluted alcohol solution and clean the interior of the glass, and then I'll go ahead and use a glass cleaner with a waffle weave towel to clean it again. To me, like I said, that seems to leave a pretty streak-free end result, and clients are typically happy with that. Next, I'll move on to dressing the tires and the wheel well areas. I didn't do any videos for the wheel wells, but you can see here I'm dressing the tires. I'm using, in this case, an oil-based dressing that I'll go ahead and apply once with the applicator pad, and then I'll go back through with a microfiber towel to wipe off any of the excess, leave a less shiny finish, which I like personally, and also in my mind it seems to reduce the risk of any tire sling. The final step to this rad detail is to apply the Carnauba wax. So as you can see, I am using the applicator pad to apply the wax, and I will follow that up with a clean microfiber towel. I always use the red. In my mind, that's just that's my own system. I use the red towel to do the final step. So anyway, enjoy, and I will be back in just a bit to walk through the before and afters with you. All right, we are all wrapped up. This was an awesome detail. This client's gonna be so happy, and I'm hoping that the potential buyer loves it and drives away with it tomorrow. But yeah, I'm gonna cut to some before and after shots and let you guys really take a look at what's going on here. So until next time, please, if you like the video, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, tell your friends, bring the masses, and we'll see you next time. Okay, I'm actually not going to ruin the end montage with the before and afters. So if you haven't done so already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell so you get the notifications, tell your friends, bring the masses, and hey, in this video is the first time I'm actually going to leave a link to some of the products that I used in the description. I'm not getting paid, so this is all for your benefit, not my own. Please enjoy and keep coming back.